Yeah, it looks weird from that angle. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm just bored, man. I'm bored, and I feel like I was looking over here. See, right there. That's a big stack of books, and then over there on by that American flag, those are more books. This is all unorganized, just like those other books that we went through like about a month or two ago. These are unorganized. They don't belong here. They belong in other places on shelves, actually on shelves. So we used to look at these books, and so I'm gonna look at a stack of books. So I think we'll look at books for about 20 minutes. I'm just grabbing off of this stack randomly, and I'm gonna move them over to the couch where we were at the beginning, and then I'll put you on the tripod. You know, I probably should have done this before I started the video, but I don't care. This is the introduction to the video, is me moving these stacks of books over here, and we'll see how many we get over here, and then I'll get the tripod. I've been watching Cecil, but I just get tired sometimes. Even though sometimes the clips are really good, I just get tired of the cope, and I need a break from the cope. That's what we're doing. We're taking a break from the cope. Why is that squeaking like that? That started today. That window started squeaking like that today. I'll check it out tomorrow and figure it out why that's happening. Alright, let's see. Let's get the tripod. Doing biceps tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Enjoy the workout videos. I'm liking the workout schedule, you know, the whole thing that's going on with it. I'm enjoying it. Having a good time with it. I am. About like that. The first thing that popped up is this book by Leo Buscaglia called Personhood: The Art of Being Fully Human. This is for lizard people. Oh, look at the rainbow in there. See, look at that. This book is long before that rainbow was related to LGBT, I believe. It says a triumphant, refreshing journey through the heart's mind by one of today's most inspiring teachers. So this guy was real popular in the psychiatric field at the time that I read this book and got this book. Like, people that I was working with were reading this guy and talking about him, you know. That was it. So coworkers of mine were reading this guy. And then also I had seen him on PBS. Like, he used to have some sort of show. Like, he wrote a book that was bigger than this one. And anyway, yeah, personhood. This will teach you how to be a person if you're not one. If you're not like a human, if you are a lizard person, as I mentioned earlier, that's the book for you. The next book is The Dead Sea Scrolls. Look at that. Wow. On the back, it says The Dead Sea Scrolls, Qumran in Perspective by Geza Vermes, with a collaboration of Pamela Vermes. Geza Vermes, the Oxford scholar and one of the foremost students of Judaism in the time of Jesus, presents an impressive survey of research on the Dead Sea Scrolls since their discovery in 1947. I read that off the back. I know you might have thought that I knew that, but I didn't. And truth be told, I've never read this book. I think I got this book. This was a free book that I got from somewhere. I can't remember where. It was from a friend of mine. This came from a religious guy that I used to work with that was a really good musician and a physical therapist, and had a really nice house. And he's not the breadwinner like his wife. Like it was a really nice. He had a really nice place. Anyway, his wife was like an attorney, I think. So yeah, that's where this came from. He's a buddy of mine from work, and we used to hang out. And that's it. This was a great book. I read this already. Boy, this was good. The War Journal of Major Damon Rocky Gauze. Or Gauze. Maybe it's Gauze. I think it's Gauze. I think that's how I pronounce it in my head. The first-hand account of one of the greatest escapes of World War II. So I read this about 20 years ago at work. This is another one of those it's a card for a comic shop that I was using as a bookmark, that I must have used as a bookmark. Let's see if we can. So I was just going to say, this was when I was working at a hospital. I read this book, and yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Speaking Poems by Rick Maston. I do like the cover. Excuse me. Kind of looks like Richard Ratboy. Even down here looks like Richard Ratboy a little bit, if he were a boomer. Boy, I don't remember where this came from. Speaking Poems. It's a poetry book by Rick Maston. I can't remember if I read this. I probably read some of this. It was free, wherever it came from. Oops, there it is. Thanks for your work, Rick. I'll get back to it someday and we'll read it again. Wait. Hold on, you guys. Gosh, did he give me both of these? So remember how we looked at the Dead Sea Scrolls? The next book, well, I skipped ahead really, but I saw it. And I was like, wait a minute, is that the same book? It's not the same book. It's another book on the Dead Sea Scrolls that I think that guy Mike gave me from work. Boy, this is one of my all-time favorite Kurt Vonnegut books. It's called God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. And it's about one of my all-time favorite fictional characters. This guy named Elliot Rosewater. He's the protagonist of this great book. What can I tell you? So the first thing that came to my mind about Elliot Rosewater was that he did this thing. I think he did this thing every night. And this thing that he did was he took the phone book, and everybody used to have a phone book with everybody in the town that they lived in. And this guy lived in like maybe Indiana or something, like Indianapolis or something like that. Ilium, Indiana or something, I forget. He was a volunteer fireman, really cool dude, very patriotic. He's a veteran. He would call people anonymously over the phone. He would randomly pick people's names out of the phone book, and he would call them and ask them how they were. I think is what it was. He would say, how are you doing? How are you? Something like that. So let's see what it says on the back. On the back, it says a brilliantly funny satire on almost everything. Elliot Rosewater, drunk, volunteer fireman, and president of the fabulously rich Rosewater Foundation, is about to attempt a noble experiment with human nature, with a little help from the writer Kilgore Trout. God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater is Kurt Vonnegut's funniest satire, an etched-in-acid portrayal of the greed, hypocrisy, and follies of the flesh that we are all heir to. Oh, there's a cool illustration of Kurt Vonnegut right there. I wonder if he did that. That might be a self-portrait. So they don't mention the phone calls, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. it might even be at oh boy, it just talks about the Rosewater Foundation. There's all the background on him. Anyway, this is a great book. I really recommend God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. Before I read God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, I read this book by Kurt Vonnegut called Breakfast of Champions. This was the first time that I heard of Kilgore Trout, who is also a character in God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. This book is about him, and he's a science fiction writer. And this is a great book. I first read this book, and this might be the first copy that I ever got. So I read this book because I saw a friend of my brother's from his school that came home with my brother, like on summer vacation or something like that, because my brother didn't live at home. He went to a boarding school, and they were reading this. Like, they had both read this, and the other book that they had read was Cat's Cradle, which I also read after this. But this was the first one I read because this one is filled with illustrations, and the illustrations are all done by Kurt Vonnegut, and they are part of the book of how, when he explains different things, he'll draw pictures and he'll say it looked like this, right? He'll say that she was wearing a t-shirt like that sort of thing. So this was like interesting to me because at the time I was like 12 years old. So that's when I first read this, and it's great too. This book is great. I love it, but maybe you might not. I mean, I guess it's only for certain people. This came from my mother. She gave me this. It's called Vagabond House, is it? Or Vagabonds? Vagabond's House by Don Blanding. And her favorite poets were this guy, Don Blanding, and Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was my mother's absolute favorite. And I remember her telling me that she started reading Poe when she was young. Look at how beautiful this is. This has all these really cool, what are these? Block print etchings or something like that? Not sure. But yeah, she really liked Edgar Allan Poe, and she started reading Edgar Allan Poe like when she was about 12 years old or something, I think. But I read this. If I remember right, there's a lot of poetry. This is about the beach and the sea and the ocean, which is another reason why she probably gave it to me. There's lots of tropical themes. It's like a South Pacific type thing. I mean, what you can see from, look at the illustrations are just beautiful in here. You can see from the cover. Vagabond's House by Don Blanding. It's a poetry book filled with poems and really nice illustrations. Look at that. This is another great book that I read when I was young because it's James Thurber. And I guess I had been exposed to James Thurber through television somehow at the beginning. And then I discovered that my parents had a lot of James Thurber books, you know. She had them all, I think. So I started reading these stories when I was in about 7th and 8th grade. And they're so good. This book is called The Thurber Carnival, and this is a must own. If you don't own this, you should get it. And it's beautifully illustrated by James Thurber himself. There might be some little illustration portions in here. There are. But it's mostly his stories that are really, what is it, satirical, cultural American commentary. What does it say on the back? It says, doesn't have any explanation, it just has reviews. I mean, this is from the Philadelphia Inquirer. It is time that we stop thinking of James Thurber as a mere funny man for sophisticates and recognize him as an authentic American genius. And the Carnival, by offering the cream of his work in a handy and attractive volume, indicates impressively the scope of his gifts. All right, so they don't really tell you what this is all like and what it is, but I'm going to open it up, and I'll tell you, there are all these great short stories, and it's almost like these short stories have a punch at the end, like Uh, Gosh, how would I explain that? They're really well done. And this is about everything. It's about relationships between men and women. It's about work. It's about children. It's about life. It's about death. It's satirical, and it's just good stuff, man. Get this. Here's something I didn't read. It's called When the Finch Rises by Jack Riggs. I haven't read this yet. I got this somewhere for free. Like I found it on the street in San Francisco or something. This is one of my favorite books. I really like this book. It's called Cruddy. Is it Lynda Barry? Yeah. This is a illustrated novel by Lynda Barry. She wrote this and she drew it. And it's really good. I really like this. I don't know if I can even begin to tell you how much I like this and why. And let's read the back. It says, one of the best top 10 books of the year. On a September night in 1971, a few days after getting busted for dropping acid, a 16-year-old curls up in the corner of her ratty bedroom and begins to write. Now the truth can finally be revealed about the mysterious day long ago when the authorities found a child calmly walking in the boiling desert covered with blood. The girl is Rebecca Robeson, and her rant against the world, bounded by the cruddy top bedroom of a cruddy rental house on a very cruddy muddy road, soon becomes a detailed account of another story, one that she has kept silent since she was 11. So this is really good, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's humorous, and it's alarming and disturbing and sad, and it's about this girl who's a runaway and who is a street kid, and that's basically it. It's about this street girl and all of the adventures and all of the messed up stuff that happens to her. There's a lot of messed up stuff that happens in here, but it's really good, and it's funny too. Like, I mean, it's funny also, and the illustrations are great. Cruddy by Lynda Barry. We were soldiers once and young. So this is the book that movie with Mel Gibson is based on. The movie We Were Soldiers. Is that what it's called? We Were Soldiers? I think the movie is just called We Were Soldiers, but the book is We Were Soldiers Once and Young. It even says now a major motion picture starring Mel Gibson. So this was from somewhere. It's got a red dot on it. Probably got it at like Goodwill for $2 or something like that. It looks great, and I don't think I've read this yet, and I need to read this. It needs to go on the top of my stack. I probably perused this when I first got it. I probably took it to work for a few days and read through it, but I don't think I read this entire book, and if I did, I need to reread it. So this is going to the top of the stack. We're almost done. 18 minutes. Boy, these were some of the most popular books in my house for about, for like about 5 to 10 years when I had my sons living with me, and I raised them here, and they loved these books. So this one and this one. I remember I got these probably at like B. Dalton or something like that. They were marked down, and they were like $4.99 a piece or something like that. And the boys absolutely loved these books. They both would go through these. These are great books. So first on the weapons one, it's got every specifications on every small arm weapon. Oops. Oh, I wonder where that was, what weapon that was at. That's a pretty cool card that was in there. That's the card that was in there. Oh, it's for Demon Robot. Look at him. So it's got all these weapons in here, and it's got everything. Every small arm weapon, and then all their specifications and fantastic illustrations, as well as and then history. Look at that Sten gun right there. And it tells you all the history of the Sten gun. And then this one, likewise, this is uniforms. Same type of thing. It's fantastic, beautifully illustrated. It's got all these different uniforms. My youngest son, Dylan, used to look through these books, page by page by page when he was like about 12. He also loved all the Ripley's Believe It or Not books but he would look through these page by page and read everything in here. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video where we looked at these books, more of my book collection. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.